Welcome to the Average Nobody's Podcast, the ultimate home for wrestling enthusiasts, beer drinkers, movie quoters, and pop culture connoisseurs. Here are your hosts, Matt and Ryan.
Hello, and welcome to the Average Nobody's Podcast. My name is Matt Vieira.
And I am Ryan Fogarty, spelled F-O-L.
F-O-L, just full?
It's pronounced Fogarty. It just doesn't. It's Swedish, so it's not a big deal.
I was gonna say the English language is fascinating, but it's Swedish.
The Swedes, they always surprise you.
Is that a saying about the Swedish
That's
people?
That's the country credo. They always surprise you.
All right, welcome to the Average Nobody's Podcast. Like I said, we're here today. It's primarily going to be Game of Thrones. I mean, I'm going to put it out there right now. I mean, last night's episode, The Spoils of War, Season 7, Episode 4, was unbelievable. It was, I'm Ryan, right? I mean, what's your...
Yeah, I mean, in the top handful of episodes for me. Just really, it was just such an awesome mix. Like, it had the classic Game of Thrones recipe for a good or a great episode.
Yeah.
Like, it gives you a little bit of heart, it gives you a little bit of plot, and then it just literally blows you away at the end with... Because, if you think about, like, your favorite episodes, they're usually, like, Hard Home, Battle of the Bastards, Blackwater. Like, those are usually really high on people's lists. And a lot of those include just some incredible fight scenes. But also, there's a lot more to the episode than just the fight scene. So this had everything. I really enjoyed it.
Before we get into the nitty-gritty of the episode, I just want to take a second and remind everybody that we're doing a Game of Thrones giveaway right now. It's a Daenerys Targaryen pop vinyl. We're doing that giveaway. It's over on our Twitter page. So if you go to our Twitter page, also on our Facebook, if you go to Twitter at Average Nobodies, you'll find the link there. If you go to facebook.com/The Average Nobodies, you'll find it there. Or just search The Average Nobodies in your search bar on Facebook, and you'll find it, and you'll find the link to enter. There's like 6 different ways you can enter, so you can enter once, but you have 6 entries. So you have a great chance of winning this thing. And I believe there's one you can do every day. So until this contest closes 2 weeks from today, you can enter that many times, plus the 6 to start off. So that's pretty awesome, and a pretty good chance for you to win this thing. So again, go over to Twitter, and you'll find a picture of the pop vinyl too. Maybe it'll give you some motivation.
And enter as many times as you can. You can tweet it out. You can follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. There's already, I think we're up to like 145 entries.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
It's
so
growing,
the more you enter, the better chance you have. And like you said, still got 2 weeks to enter, so no rush. But once you have some time, just check out our Twitter page and enter that contest. Get a nice, handsome Daenerys Targaryen pop vinyl.
Very handsome. Hold on, let me I'll grab the box right now. I'm sitting right in front of it. It's the it doesn't say what. So she's wearing like the blue dress she wore, I believe in season 5, and she has like the stick, the stick that controlled the Unsullied army when they were still slaves. So she's holding that. That's pretty cool. So again, go to our Twitter, go to our Facebook. I believe it's on our blog too. We posted it up as its own blog post, so check that out.
It is on there as well.
AverageNobodies.com. Ryan, tell us a little something about the director of this episode, The Spoils of War.
So name is Matt Shakman, Shakman,
Great
and
name.
he's excellent name. Whenever you can combine 2 words in your last name.
Yeah.
Shaq and Man.
Yep.
Even though Shaq is spelt wrong, but we'll give him a pass. But he's a veteran television director. He's directed a ton of different TV, and I mean, just from stuff that I know we enjoy, he's done he did 2 episodes in season 1 of Fargo. Mm-hmm. He's done 44 episodes of Always Sunny.
That's why when I read that, that's unreal. So he's a pretty oh my god,
prolific.
Yes, that's the word that I was looking for. Always Sunny director. I mean, he's done a good chunk.
And I mean, he's been directing since the early 2000s. I mean, you go back, he's done stuff like Judging Amy. He did an episode of that. One Tree Hill, Boston Legal, 6 Feet Under.
Okay. It's kind of crazy though, because my understanding of like what I'm looking at all his stuff he's done, and like all the TV shows you just listed are like traditional TV shows. Like Always Sunny is shot in like the kind of hybrid sitcom like style. You know, it's not like stationary one set. It moves around a little bit, but it's like traditional TV. But Fargo, we've gushed about before. It kind of takes that leap into like the next territory. It's more like a mini series like / like TV movie, like really good quality like stuff. But then HBO Game of Thrones is a whole new pantheon of TV. It's something completely different, and I feel like he transitioned pretty well. He
really did
into this. I mean, has he done any movies?
No.
He's just a TV director.
See.
I mean,
it's just all TV.
That's crazy.
He actually because I was reading the write up on Game of Thrones, and he did what the hell was it? He did almost all their episodes in 2017 for Always Sunny. But he did the one where it's like Charlie Work. It's the one where it's like from like the Birdman.
Oh my god!
Birdman, where like it just follows Charlie. He directed that episode.
That's my favorite episode of Always Sunny.
And that's the one that there's one that the Game of Thrones writers wrote, but I don't think it was the same episode. But that's like a distinctly different. That's like a distinctly different type of Always Sunny episode. So that might have helped him a little bit here, but still, like you said, I mean, there's just so many different characters, so many different. And like to shoot a battle scene like that, I mean, that's nothing like anything else he's ever done.
Yeah, no, nothing.
And I thought he did a wonderful job.
Absolutely, it was crazy. But so let's and he's also directing next week's Game of Thrones episode. Yes. I see Eastwatch. So
Eastwatch, okay. Yeah.
So now Eastwatch, is that the castle on the wall?
I think it is.
Right, that's the one where the wildlings are right now. They're holding that castle, waiting for the White Walkers to show up. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check.
So that should be wild. Eastwatch.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like a castle located at the far eastern end of the wall.
Okay, yeah. So that's where the wildlings are, and that's where the White Walkers are marching on right now as as the episode is.
That could get interesting.
That'll get interesting next week. Let's take things a little warmer though this episode, because there was some heat. There was some heat. So we started off. Do we start off? Let's go through the outline how we have it. Okay. Dragonstone.
Yes.
So Jon Snow he was shown, but also now he's mining the Dragonstone. A task that's going to be pretty difficult for just him and Davos to do. You'd think they'd show some of the workers that that Daenerys gave him. I assume, right? I assume they gave.
There's a lot of dragon glass in there. I don't.
It's a lot of dragon glass.
Spending, like, imagine he's like, I have all this dragon glass. They're like, oh, everyone's dead. The White Walkers already came. It's over. I really wish we had someone else.
I also didn't see Davos and Jon Snow get out of that tiny little boat with any pickaxe or any kind of equipment to mine any of this glass. But I'm assuming they have some of the castle, right?
I trust them. But I'd like to see some of their tools before I see how effective this is going to be.
The next episode is actually just Davos and Jon Snow clawing at the walls with their hands, trying to break away the dragon glass. Oh, this is never going to work. This is never going to work. So anyway, while he's in the cave, he finds something interesting, and he brings Dany. He goes out and finds Daenerys and brings her in there, and it's like these cave paintings from who is it? The Children of the Forest.
Children of the Forest,
yes. Yeah. And the first
who created the White Walkers, right? Didn't they create the White Walkers?
Yes, yeah. So it was
to kill the first men.
Something like that.
Because the first men, like, basically it's like the story of like man being created and then turning evil.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't know what evil was, you wouldn't know they would have the ability to become evil.
Sure. Yeah.
So when they became evil, the Children of the Forest created the White Walkers to defeat them, but then the White Walkers kind of turned into the worst possible thing ever.
So then the first men and the pictures depicted the first men and the Children of the Forest banding together to defeat the White Walkers, which is basically what Jon Snow's saying to Daenerys, like, this is what we need to be doing. Like, we need to be banding together to fight our common enemy.
And then she asked him to take the knee, right? Do you think it's kind of silly that he's not doing it?
At this point, I think it's very silly he's not doing it. I also think it's equally as silly that she's still expecting him to do it.
Yeah, maybe that kind of shows how similar they are. They're both very stubborn and
Yeah, I mean, they're
Obviously, they're both Targaryens, but
yeah, I mean, and they don't know that, but you're right. I mean, they're totally similar in that way. It just the way I see it is like there's really no reason for either one of them to need to bend the knee for each other. Like Jon Snow is the king in the North. You know, and honestly, I think if he had to choose, I'm pretty sure he would remove king from his name. I don't think he's the type of guy that he's not living or dying by that
no,
title on the front of his
not.
name. This is a guy who rode up to the wall to spend his life defending the wall. He was killed because he did what he thought was right, which nobody agreed with. You know, what I mean, he's not one for the popular opinion here. You know, he's not. He does. I don't think he really cares that king's in front of his name. He's clearly just out there he knows that this is going to be bad for everybody. So I think it's kind of silly that she wants him to bend the knee so badly. It's just I don't know.
It's interesting, she literally used the word for word, though, when Jon was talking to Mance Rayder, and he was trying to get the wildlings on his side.
Yeah.
He used is there survival more important than your pride? And Dany used that exact line to him.
I love that. Immediately rang in my head. I'm like, this season has been a lot of that. It's been a lot of
good callbacks.
It's been a lot of callbacks, yes. And so that rang in my head. I'm like, that sounds very familiar. And I will admit I had to look it up, but I was like, yep. That was.
I did too. But.
And that kind of, I think that hopefully that rang in Jon Snow's head and was like, yeah, this is exactly what I said to Mance. But also it didn't end that well for Mance. So.
It did not. No.
Did not
but I'm glad they're doing all these callbacks because there's so many characters that we've waited so long to meet. You know, like Jon and Dany,
yes.
even Bran and Littlefinger or the Starks to reunite. So to kind of have them echo other people that they've met along their journey is cool.
It's kind of crazy how Game of Thrones is able to do this thing where we've been waiting so long and so anxious for characters to meet back up or even meet for the first time, like we were just saying, Daenerys and Jon. But then we don't even realize what's happening in front of us at the time and how those themes could project to the future. And they're just foreshadowing for the future. You know what I mean? Then you put it all together. We're so excited that Jon Snow and Daenerys are hanging out together. But then all of a sudden, she says that line and it brings it back to this time that you totally forget about it because you're just so thinking about these characters coming together and what the future is going to look like with all the different characters meeting when you don't even realize that the themes that the whole time have been the same. They're just, they're transitioning through time.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was interesting. And so do you think now that he is going to bend the knee?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the hell he's waiting for. He's seen the dragons. He's spoken to her closest advisors who... they can't be any more loyal.
I think he's going to be.
I mean, it's one thing for Tyrion to be loyal because he could be seen as a fly by night. I'm just going to take the side of whoever's the most powerful. Mm-hmm. Same with Varys.
Yeah.
But for to speak with what the hell's her name?
Oh, Grey Worm's girl. What's her name?
Yeah.
Shoot. Oh God. I forget.
But anyway, to speak with her and see how loyal she is, and Daenerys freed me and all this stuff. Missandre, yeah. Because I want to say Melisandre, but that's the
Red Woman, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. It seems like he should have by now. So I guess, but because even what Dany does at the end of the episode, I mean, he didn't see it. He's not seeing that in action,
right,
so that really shouldn't change his mind.
No.
So I don't know. I mean. I would assume so because it would make no sense not to.
I think he's eventually going to have to. I think he's going to have to because there's going to be no other way for her to give him support. And he knows that Jon, he's not an idiot. At the end of the day, he wants the White Walkers not to kill everybody.
Right.
So he's going to do whatever it takes.
Yeah, and if the White Walkers are in the next episode and maybe they defeat the Wildlings or something, it might take something like that to be all right, screw it. My pride's not more important than all of us living.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it should have happened already, but I have to imagine he will eventually, and hopefully it's not too late by the time he does.
Imagine what a smartphone would do to this whole universe. If everybody had iPhones.
It'd be over fairly quickly.
It would be, things would be here's a picture of a White Walker. Here's what they're fucking doing.
Yeah.
Let's be done.
This is what they did to this person. All right. Yeah, you're right. I'm on your side.
We don't have to trust Ravens anymore to send messages.
Just send a text.
Just shoot a tweet. Seriously. All right. So let's move on to one of my least favorite characters right now, Bran. Not into his whole thing.
His little moody.
Yeah,
moody
he's
game.
very moody teenager. So Littlefinger had to sit down with him with that dagger that they keep calling back. They keep doing flashbacks to.
Yeah.
It was the dagger that was originally what? They were going after Bran and Catelyn Stark. Right? These like thieves had it.
Yeah, that was going to be the one that was going to kill him.
Yeah, but the last person that had it, right? Because Littlefinger says the last person that had it at that time was Tyrion, trying to basically say that the Lannisters, right, were after them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're not sure if that's 100% true, right? That's what we're led to believe.
I mean, not much that Littlefinger says is 100% true.
But the thing is, now he gifted the dagger to Bran, which was probably a poor mistake, and I think he started to realize that because now Bran knows he sees through his bullshit.
Right, and literally can see.
Yeah, he sees
everything in the past and all the stuff he's done, and that chaos is a ladder line that he used is another callback, which is a really cool callback.
Yep.
And I watched the segment today. It's on YouTube. It's like a 3-minute segment, and it goes back to a combo that Littlefinger and Varys had in season 3, when Littlefinger was pretty much siding with Joffrey when Joffrey was with Sansa.
Sure. And who said it? Did Varys say it?
No, Littlefinger said it.
Littlefinger said it's Varys. Okay.
Yeah, because Varys goes, chaos is a pit, and Littlefinger goes, chaos is not a pit, chaos is a ladder, and blah, blah, blah. So then when Bran said chaos is a ladder, and they focused on Littlefinger's face, and he was like, oh, shit.
Yep. My mom texted me. She just watched it like a few hours ago. And she texted me. She's like, why did Littlefinger look like he saw a ghost when he said that? Yeah, exactly. He did. He saw a ghost of his past. Like that's what he saw. So that's crazy. And so now I think he like is regretting even going up to Bran and like talking to him at all.
Well, because now like Littlefinger, I think, is seeing Bran as dangerous. Like, is he going to try to get him out of there, eliminate him? But
doesn't seem like Bran's doing anything. Like he's just like has no motivation for anything. He needs to talk to Jon, and Jon's not there, unfortunately. But I don't know.
But it's interesting because when Sansa was talking to him later in the episode, she said like you died in not Sansa. Actually, we'll get to it next. But with Mira Reed,
yes,
like when she was talking to him, she goes, "You died in that cave or whatever."
Exactly.
Didn't you? And he kind of did. Like, I mean, he's here, but he's not. He's not Bran. He can't walk. He doesn't have emotions. He just sees things.
That like whole like scene was very uncomfortable because I was like, you're being a dick, but then it makes sense. I'm like, all right, because
he just doesn't have. But I mean, to like lost like Hodor died for him. Her brother died for him. I mean, and she's only leaving so she can basically die with her family.
Mira Reed's father was someone who was he fought with Stark, right? He fought with Ned Stark. Yeah.
There's some connection there that had to make her like want to protect him.
Wasn't he Reed? I can't remember his first name, but wasn't he in the vision that Bran had with Ned outside the Tower of Joy? Like going in there, so, yeah. Right? Wasn't that the guy that was with him? It was Reed.
Howland Reed.
Yeah, Howland Reed, right? Isn't that him?
Yeah. Yep, I think so.
Okay. So that's interesting. I got a feeling she is not done with the show, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so because she'll definitely be in some shape or form in a scene with the White Walkers once they reappear.
Yeah. So that was kind of a dickish goodbye that Bran gave her. But so now things aren't going well for Daenerys at the beginning of this episode.
At the beginning,
at least things are not going well. And so she when they come out of the cave, she finds out that they took the rock, right? They took Castle Rock.
Yep.
And she's like, that's great news. But then she finds out that a bunch of her ships were destroyed and that nobody was actually there and that the Lannister army were actually at Highgarden, stealing all the gold so they could pay back that debt that the Iron Bank came to collect.
Yeah. So now she lost a lot of ships, lost the Tyrells.
Yeah.
Lost Dorne. I mean, that's not a good couple episode stretch.
Yeah. And I think that when she asked for... she was consulting Tyrion, and Tyrion gave his like what he thought, but she was not happy with that. She's not happy with what he had to say because of all the bad shit that's been going on. So she asked Jon Snow, and Jon Snow kind of gives like the same answer. What was the remark he gave?
because he said you want to be different, going and burning down King's Landing and killing everyone with fire. You'd just be more of the same.
Exactly, right? So he's kind of
So he's kind of giving her the same. He maybe just was phrasing it a little differently.
Yeah.
I just think she needed to hear another voice, not necessarily a different opinion, just another voice.
I think that this also helps Tyrion too, because I think that kind of gives him a little more credibility, because this is not like what Tyrion is doing is not like the wrong choice. It's the right choice, but just shit has gone bad for them, you know?
Yeah, like she couldn't, even if what he was saying was correct and was going to be the right move.
Yeah,
he needed to take a step back.
Yeah. So did you expect that?
For him.
Did you expect that answer from Jon Snow?
No, I didn't. I don't know. I actually expected him to say the opposite.
I thought he would just say torch. Like I would figure he'd want it to be over as fast as possible so she could come help him in the north. You know what I mean? Like
kind of like an Olenna Tyrell answer. Like you're a dragon, be a dragon. That type of thing.
Absolutely, that's exactly what I was saying. But then he says what he said, and then it makes sense. Like that's a total Jon Snow answer, I guess.
It fits his personality a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean he's a very complex character, so it's tough to know exactly what he might say in any given scenario. I think because he's so dynamic. But it makes sense after you kind of hear it and understand it. Kind of makes sense.
It does. But I kind of like that. I mean, it furthers their relationship a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Yep, more trust. You can tell it now. She's like, he's clearly not a prisoner. I know that there was like the second or third episode. He was worried if he was a prisoner there. He's clearly not.
No,
he's clearly not.
I mean, she's consulting him. She's letting him mine the dragon glass. So yeah. I don't think he has to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, no, definitely not. So Jon Snow's sisters are finally had a family reunion. Arya and Sansa finally had their little reunion. It wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I think like Arya and Bran especially, they're just so changed. They're not. They're
No, they're definitely not the
same. It almost feels weird to see Arya hugging someone. Whether it's Sansa weird. Or not. Yeah. I mean, she was definitely the happiest she was that entire time was when she was fighting with Brienne.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Other than that, she was just kind of I got more people to kill.
Yeah. Yep.
My list isn't finished yet. So
it's hilarious.
How about Sansa? Sansa finally is reunited with her siblings. One is just devoid of emotion. He's a soulless bird, and the other is just a serial killer psychopath.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have reunited with my siblings. I don't know.
Yeah. It's. I don't know. You're right. It was weird for them to hug. It was weird because that's out of character for Arya right now. I mean, who has she? The last person she hugged was probably Ned Stark.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, this is totally out of character for her. I understand it's her sister, and she's glad to see her. She's a different person. The way Bran is a different person, though. I mean, obviously, but
yeah, she's evolved.
She's still exactly. She's evolved into the person that she was always going to become. She's, maybe not as killerish, as murderous, but she's an adult. She never was going to have when she saw Sansa and she's like, it suits you, Lady Stark, and what she was wearing and whatnot, basically just kind of ragging on her. That was never going to be Arya's destiny.
No, and we talked about a couple episodes ago when she saw Nymeria.
Yes.
When she said it's not you, that's not you.
Yeah.
And it flashes back to when she was speaking to Ned when she was much smaller, and he's like, "Oh, you'll marry a lord or a prince," and she's like, "That's not me."
Yeah.
She always knew that wasn't her, and I don't think she necessarily thought she'd develop into this serial killer, but still, she knew she was never going to be Lady Stark.
Yeah.
That was never going to be her.
Yeah.
I thought it was. What the hell was I going to say? I thought it was interesting. Holly actually mentioned this. The same scene, in season 1, when she approaches the gates. In season 1, she was going through the underground tunnels and stuff, and was trying to get back into the gates, and the guards wouldn't let her in. And it was filmed almost the exact same way. And in season 1, she goes, "Go get my father."
Yeah.
But in this one, she says, "Go get my sister."
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool how that's evolved too. At that time, her father was in charge of that territory, and now it's Sansa.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. For some reason, I thought she was going to be turned away, and they actually weren't there. You know what I mean? She thought they actually weren't there when she's asked for Jon, and then Jon's not here, and then I thought she was just going to be turned away from it, and then just miss them again, 2 ships passing in the night, once again.
Did you think she left Like when the guards turned around and she was gone.
I absolutely thought she left because the way she was sitting there, like pondering to herself. I think she was like, "Why did I even come back here? I'm just gonna get the fuck out of here and just like continue my quest." You know what I mean? Like,
Yep, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I thought she was gone. I thought that was it, and like, I was gonna be so pissed. I was gonna be like, "Come on!" But then they met, and it was kind of like it was very anticlimactic as well, like we were saying. But she now has the dagger that Littlefinger gave to Bran.
Yep,
it's in
and that's
better
Valerian
hands.
Steel, right?
Yes, that's a Valerian steel blade, which will come in handy.
It will.
You know, it's not. It's going to be wasted on a cripple. That's Bran's words, not mine. So
no hate mail this week.
I love the yeah. Please. We're probably going to get it anyway for something else. I liked the scene where Arya first meets Sansa in the caves in the dungeons and was like, you know, it should have been someone that knew his face, and all the people that knew his face are dead, which is a pretty, like, you know, sobering line for the Stark family. And then
like a harsh reality.
Yeah, a very harsh reality. And then she's like saying like, what were you doing going south? Or however it came up, and he's like, I'm gonna kill Cersei. She's on my list, right? Was that the person she originally brought up?
Yes.
And then she just laughed. They both laughed it off like it was a joke. You know, it's like one of those like funny like little like comedy tropes. It's like, you know, you say the thing that's like so ridiculous that you don't think it's actually going to be true. It's the same thing when she came across Ed Sheeran and the Band of Lannisters. She's like, "Oh, I'm going to kill the queen," and they all laughed. But that's actually what she wants to do.
I love how she's very like forthcoming with that.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what are you doing? I'm gonna go kill the queen.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
And then Bran was like, she's on her list. And then that was like a sobering moment for Sansa. Like, oh, she actually is a fucking murderer, and she's gonna
Like
go
she
down.
actually has a list of people she's killing.
And that most of them are already dead.
Yeah. So I love how cavalier she is about it. She's like, some I've killed, some are already dead. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
And she was like, who else is on your list? And she said most of them are already dead. Right? I think that was like
Yeah, which is true. She doesn't have that many left.
She doesn't have that many left. I mean, the Hound is off her list, right? Technically.
Yes. Yeah.
Even if she saw him alive, right? I think that he'd still be off her list.
Yeah. I mean, definitely if he's on the list, he's very low.
Yeah.
But I think he's off.
I think that I hope that the Hound and Arya have a chance to meet up again, because I think that's going to be a more warm embrace than Sansa and Arya, honestly.
They understand each other.
They understand each other
than Sansa does.
And Arya learned a lot from the Hound. I was watching a video today, and this is a great video. You should go online and check it out. I believe HBO put it out, but they show all the moves that she does in the. So anyway, Arya walks up to Podrick and Brienne fighting, and she wants to get in there and fight Brienne, and she's like giving Brienne the what's for when like she's like this great warrior, and Arya's just like dancing circles around her. But this video that I think HBO put it out. They do mirror images of all the moves she does, like all the kill shot moves she does, and they go back to her sword trainer back in King's Landing when Ned got her the sword trainer. I forget his name. He's the guy who like fought off the Lannister army with just a wooden sword. You know what I'm talking about? And then there's also there's like mirror images of things that he taught her how to do, like she does the Brienne. And then there's a couple different scenes of how the Hound taught her how to strike, in which parts of the body to strike at, and like that. So the Hound taught her a lot, like a lot. And then of course the fucking beating she took from the waif, like also has a lot to do with like where she is right now and how she fights. So,
and I liked when Brienne was like, "Who trained you?" And no one. Yeah. Like that's so badass.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was good. And I think that like Brienne was loving it. Brienne was loving fighting with her.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So because Pod, I don't think is a like she was just
Pod's not much of a challenge.
No, not much of a challenge. She was just she was like going in circles around him. I feel like every time they're training, he never gets better.
He's almost getting worse.
He's getting worse. So anyway, I think towards the beginning of the episode, you see Cersei. She's meeting with the guy from the Iron Bank. The Iron Bank guy is like, he's basically hard because they're gonna pay back this huge debt in one like settlement, but he doesn't want them to pay it off because he likes the interest payments. So now he's trying to get her to like, you know, instead of paying us all that money back, like we'll wait till it gets here, and then you can keep it again and, you know, bolster your army and whatnot. So she's like pretty excited about that because she knows the gold is coming back from Highgarden, which ends up not being the case. Which ends up not being the case at all.
So now, did none of the gold make it?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think we know at this point. I don't think we know if any of it made it or not.
Because I thought Tarly, like Sam's dad,
yeah,
I thought he said like some of the gold is on its way before.
Maybe
the Dothraki made it, but I don't know. I'll have to go back and watch it. If he said it, it was very like subtle and in passing. But
yeah, I don't know. I really don't know at this point. I think maybe some of it made it, and like some of it got destroyed, obviously. But before we get into that, so Jamie and Bronn get into a little, not into a little scuffle, but they're talking with each other. Jamie takes a bunch of gold off the wagon, gives it to Bronn because of his services. But Bronn's still stuck on the fact that he wants a castle. Like, he doesn't want gold. He wants a castle.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. And I think Jamie wants to give him a castle, too. But there's a lot of complicated things going on right now. That, like,
right.
He was straight with him. He's like, listen, I'm not going to give you High Garden so that way it can be torched by Daenerys, like, in a few weeks. So, like, that's nice and whatever. And then they have that little fun chuckle over, so is he a Tyrell? Dickon?
I think so.
that was peak Bronn.
Yeah, just belly chuckle. What's your name? Dickon. Oh my god, I love that.
That was good. I honestly, after this episode, I think Jaime's one of my favorite characters right now in Game of Thrones.
He's so good.
He's so good, and listen, I don't know how it could come to the point where one of my favorite characters is the same character who raped his sister over their son's dead body. So, having said that, though, right now I'm very empathetic towards Jaime. I have a lot of empathy for him.
I do too, and I didn't expect to be rooting for him in that scenario, especially against a Daenerys. It's not like he's facing this awful person where it's like, all right, you want Jaime to win out. Yeah. Like Daenerys riding a dragon, how are you not just gonna 110% root for her?
I was very
that's the power. I think it's more the actor. He's very good.
Yes, he is very good. So anyway, I love this lead up. So you see Bronn and Jaime are talking, you have that whole scene, and then you go back to Dragonstone. And when did they realize that she wasn't there? When did Jon Snow realize she wasn't there?
I think he knew the whole time because when Theon pulled up on the boat.
Oh right. So Theon asks where she is, right? And then that's right. So Theon asks because I love that. Because you're expecting Daenerys is here. She's she's right up the stairs, but he shows up and then she's not there, and you're like, where is she? And then it cuts back to High Garden. And you're like, oh shit, she's heading over there. I honestly thought she was just going to ride over there with the dragon. I didn't realize the Dothraki army was coming behind her in tow. I had no idea.
And that's another callback actually that I saw, but with Cersei and when Robert was still alive.
What
and
was
Robert
that?
won because Cersei's like, why don't you just go and take something, take a land or take a castle? And Robert goes, you have to be a real idiot to meet the Dothraki in an open field. And obviously it wasn't Jaime's plan, but they're sitting ducks in an open field, and the Dothraki slaughtered them.
Yeah.
I mean, did you think Drogon was necessary?
I do, only because the only part that I saw him be useful, I think he probably could have done this then left. I feel like he didn't need to once you're there, he's there. But that first line of fire he puts down through the opening, gives the Dothraki a chance to, breach the wall. And I think they could have probably defeated them anyway, but they probably would have lost more men. I think that by them being able to penetrate the wall, they set up with, the pikes and the spears.
That's true.
I think that they could
saved a lot of Dothraki.
Sure, yeah. I mean, you save a lot of people that way. Like I said, they could have taken it anyway, but at that point, the whole time, leading up to this episode, the whole series, I'm rooting for Daenerys. I'm rooting for her dragons to torch everybody. At this moment, I was like, God damn it, Bronn and Jaime, two of my favorite characters in Game of Thrones, are on the other side of this, and I do not want them to go. I don't want them to go like this. I'm not gonna lie. When Jaime picked up that spear and he was jousting towards Daenerys, I wanted her to kill her. I wanted him to kill her. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I wanted her. That's probably not gonna be a shared sentiment, and I get that. But there was just this weird part of me. I'm like, if he's gonna do it, this is how he's gonna do it.
I almost wanted her to die more than the dragon.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely. Because then I could be like, two thoughts went through my head. I'm like, Jaime could kill her here. And then I was like,
Yep.
but then Tyrion or Jon Snow could ride the dragons. We'll be okay. The dragons will still be here.
Yeah.
The dragons will still be here.
And it was just a really cool mix of this just amazing battle scene.
It was
with
unbelievable.
dragons in Dothraki, but also really cool character work.
Yeah.
From Daenerys,
Yep.
who's just on a mission. Like, she's a couple losses in the hole, lost some allies. She's not stopping. She could have flew off with Drogon, but she keeps coming back because she just needs this win, or she was like fueled by rage and fueled by, not necessarily, I don't know if it was revenge, because there was really nothing personal done to her recently, but it was more fueled by rage of just like, I think a lot of it had to do with Jon Snow being there. Like, I have to prove my worth here. Like, she was hell bent on being there.
Yeah.
She wasn't just going to send the Dothraki to do her job, which I guess kind of answers my question of, was Drogon necessary?
Yeah.
I think she wanted to make a point of her being there for that.
And also,
not just send the Dothraki. She's been sending people all over, and things haven't been working out.
This was a move she made that swung the momentum into her favor because things haven't been going well for her army.
Right.
It also was a way for her to kind of meet in the middle with her advisors. Her advisors are advising, like, really strongly wanted her to stay at Dragonstone and not ride the dragons because of how dangerous it could be for her. And I think this is like a good middle of the ground. Like, you really made an impact because you destroyed a lot of the gold that was going to pay off the Lannister debt, which severely handicaps them in war. And she gets to, ride Drogon and burn a ton of people to the ground, like literally to ash. Like, that fight scene was unbelievable.
It was so cool.
It was the culmination of every fight scene we've seen, like, all in one. It had like all those, like, in like the Battle of Bastards, like, you had that opening with Rickon and the whole arrow and whatnot, but then it was like a pure like battle, like men on men with one giant. You know what I mean? Mm. Then you had like the Battle of Blackwater, which was like a lot of men on men, like, just fighting battle. And then you had like that whole with the wildfire. Is that what it's called? Wildfire?
Yes.
The wildfire and the boats. With this, you had like the aspect of like the Dothraki, which is like an army that like you don't see that often, like in battle like this. You had the dragon. You had the scorpion weapon that Bronn was wielding, trying to take down Drogon. It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. Bronn was a badass. He was an absolute badass in this scene.
He was fantastic. I mean, he's already my top 2 or 3 characters going into that scene, but
yeah,
man, so many small moments too. Just like when he's charging head on at the Dothraki, like throwing his knife at it first.
Yeah.
And then coming in with the high sword.
Yeah.
When he gets knocked off the horse and his gold is kind of spewed out everywhere, he's looking at it. And at that point, he has to make the decision of, do I take my gold and run, or do I do what I've done my whole life and just fight?
Yeah.
Whether it was for Jaime or not, you don't know, but that's what he does. He's a fighter. Like, he's not going to be a guy who's, as much as he says he wants a castle and he wants to sit back and drink wine and be with beautiful women, I don't think that would make him happy. I think he's happiest doing what he did in that battle.
Yes, absolutely.
And then the scene with, the huge spear. I mean, that was just awesome. And it didn't come off as like, oh, he hit it with his second try. It was like he missed it with the first one, but I think Dany's rage blinded her in a way, and she came back, and it worked out.
Yeah,
like that didn't strike me as like, oh, this is ridiculous. How could he hit the dragon?
No,
I'm glad it was a glancing blow too.
Yeah,
it would have been a little much if he hit him straight on.
And killed him. She should have took a hint and been like, out of there. She wasn't prepared for that. She didn't know that they had that type of weaponry, right?
But she saw that first one fly by.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying as soon as that happens and that misses you and you get that second chance, you get the fuck out of there with your dragon. You got to get out of there. You have to. But Bronn, like, he stayed in the saddle and shot it and got him, and Drogon fell from the sky, and then Daenerys was very vulnerable on the ground. I mean, anybody could have really taken her out with a well-placed arrow, but luckily a lot of her enemies were already dead.
On fire.
Yeah, either burned or on fire. And then Jamie finds this opportunity. I love this scene. I was telling you before, I thought that I was like, Jamie killer. Like, I was like, like, do it. But this is such an interesting scene because we have not seen anything like this since, like, really the first season of Game of Thrones, and nothing really like this because the characters now are so developed. But these are two principal characters going, like, one is going to kill the other one. This doesn't happen that often. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of it is like the Red Wedding, like the Boltons killed the Starks, but it was by the hand of the Lannisters. Like Cersei didn't walk up in there, or like Tywin didn't walk up into the Red Wedding and like kill Robb Stark and Catelyn Stark. Like, had someone do it.
It's done backhandedly. Yeah.
Yeah. This was Jaime Lannister riding a spear on a horse, ready to like shish kebab Daenerys Targaryen in front of a dragon, which he knows is almost certain death, because even if he gets her, he's not going to kill the dragon.
No. And that was just filmed so perfectly, like the dragon swooping around and going in front of Dany to like save her. And then it was like a double save. Yeah. Like Jaime had her dead to rights. The dragon swoops in to burn Jaime, then Bronn jumps in to save Jaime. Yeah. The only thing, I mean, that armor, thankfully this is a situation where Bronn not wearing armor is going to help him, because he's not going to sink to the bottom.
Nope.
Because he doesn't wear the armor, but Jaime does.
Yeah.
He's got that metal hand.
I was like, lose the hand. That's the first thing I said. I was like,
he kept up the hand.
Which is actually kind of a double-edged sword, no pun intended, but it's kind of a double-edged sword because you lose the hand and it lightens you up a little bit, but then you can't swim as good with no hand. Like, a hand is where you draw all your power from in the water when you're swimming. Like, I know it's a fake hand, but still, it creates resistance that would help him swim. But it's also like solid gold or some shit, right? It's fucking heavy as fuck. So like, it's not gonna help him out at all in this situation. I was on Twitter, and of course, Twitter was like freaking out. Listen, they were like crying like unrealistic that the part. Why is Jaime sinking to the bottom of the lake? First of all, he's wearing army. Second of all, you just watched a dragon fly and start burning people alive. Are you going to start questioning why someone is sinking to the bottom of a lake? Why the laws of buoyancy are coming into effect because he's wearing a suit of armor? Like, are you really going to fight that now?
Oh, wait a minute. Let me get my physics book out. Like, the dragon's okay.
The dragon's fine.
He shouldn't be sinking that fast.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like, it was the shore of the lake. Like, why is it so deep? I'm like,
shit.
Does it really matter? Like, just
enjoy it.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So, what do you think right now? What do you think is Bronn and Jaime's, like, where are they right now? Like,
they're Dany's prisoners.
Absolutely. Totally 100%.
I mean, I don't think, I mean, it just, the Game of Thrones isn't the type of show to be, to kind of be like, I can't think of the word, but if someone's going to die, especially that important of a character at this stage of the game, it's not going to be, they're not going to, like, start the next episode with Jaime continuing to sink and then die. Like, that's not how it's going to work.
No.
So, right. I mean, I think they're going to be her prisoner. And, I mean, now she has all the leverage.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she comes back. She dominates the army. Their army is pretty much fucked.
Yeah.
Between the people the Unsullied took out and the people the Dragons took out, they're in trouble. And now she's got Jaime. But, still got Euron out there, that weirdo. He's still out there, so, yeah. Didn't see him this episode, so he's probably going to be heavily featured next episode.
Yeah. What do you think is going to happen when Tyrion goes face-to-face with Bronn and Jaime now?
That's going to be interesting. That's going to be a reunion that I don't think a lot of people had in mind necessarily. At least not. Yeah. At least not Bronn and Tyrion. Like maybe Tyrion and Jaime, you could have that in the back of your mind, but I didn't even think of that. But obviously they're gonna meet.
Yep. It's gonna be interesting because I think that obviously like we said this last episode, and I try and stress this as much as I can. Like Tyrion didn't decide to go against the Lannisters. Tyrion's head was basically on a pike. Like he was dead. He was dead to rights. He was going to be killed. He had to go into. He had to go.
Jimmy understands that. Yeah.
I mean, maybe he's still a little pissed that he killed his dad. He killed their dad. I mean, maybe but still,
not ideal.
He was a dick, and I don't know. It's just like that's something that he had to do that. So like, Jamie's gonna understand like why he is I mean, I don't know. I mean, he has to know that, like, Cersei, and Jamie kind of this season has shown that, like, he knows Cersei is a monster. He knows she's a monster. So, I don't know. I mean,
that showdown is still the one I'm looking forward to the most.
Which one?
Jamie and Cersei.
Yeah, I think
it's gonna come to a head.
I think right. I think it has to come, and maybe now that he's, I don't know. I mean, I don't think he turns on Cersei. I think eventually, like, he's still gonna be with her, like, but then maybe like at not the last second, but he decides like, all right, enough is enough. Like, this can't go on like this.
It's gonna be interesting. Only 3 more episodes left. It's
sucks.
So terrible.
And I was like, yesterday, the one thing I always do when I watch Game of Thrones, I check my phone. I don't check my phone in the way like I go on the internet and whatnot and like distract myself. I always like keep my phone next to me and I check it for the time, because I'm like, I hate when the episode just ends. I need to know when it's coming.
Yeah.
So we started it late. We started like 10 minutes late. So I was like, when 9:50 rolled around, I was like, all right, like, we still got 20 more minutes. And then, but nope, yeah. it was only 10 more minutes. And I was like, ah, shit. Like, I was like, I can't believe it. And it was the shortest episode in Game of Thrones history.
Crazy.
Which is very disheartening. But it felt, honestly, that last battle felt like it was an hour on its own.
Yeah, that felt like its own episode.
Yeah, absolutely. That was wild. So what are your wishes for the next episode?
I need a little bit of the White Walkers.
Yeah, me too. Oh,
they don't necessarily have to do a ton of damage, but I want to at least see them. Maybe have them bring somebody back to have someone join their army. But
yeah,
I just don't want it to be like they just show up in the finale. I kind of want to see a little bit of them, and we haven't really seen the wildlings. We haven't seen who's the redheaded wildling, the crazy one.
Yeah, Tormund.
Tormund. We haven't seen him in a while. I kind of would like to see him.
Yeah.
I mean, judging on the name of the episode, it seems like we might see both.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's I think we're going to see him next week.
And then I don't know. I mean, other than that, I don't have too many. I wouldn't mind seeing what Euron's next step is, but I think he's waiting to be led by Cersei in a way, because he obviously wants to be with her. So
yeah. I don't really have that many. Like, I'm hoping next week we see some of the White Walkers, like you said. I'm hoping that they show the Hound next week, because now this is 2 episodes he hasn't been in.
Brothers Without Banners too.
Yeah, that whole crew. Honestly, I forget where they are. Where are they right now? Are they beyond the wall, or no? I
don't think so. Where the hell were they last time? That was like episode 2?
Yeah,
or
they're
1?
They're not beyond the.
Well,
no, I think it was episode 2, because they showed them back to back episodes, but. I hope that he, for some reason, stumbles upon Winterfell, because I'd like to see that reunion between him and Arya.
I would too.
Yeah.
I have a feeling Arya's not going to hang around that long.
Yeah, me too.
Especially with Littlefinger there.
Yeah.
I mean, she definitely doesn't like him.
This would be interesting, but what if Arya joined I know she's like kind of a lone wolf at this point, but what if she joined the Brotherhood Without Banners? I mean, because were they going to King's Landing? Where were they going? They have like no direction.
They're one of those stories where like they'll show them for 30 seconds in the preview. Like before the episode airs.
Yeah.
They're like previously on Game of Thrones. Like they'll show them, and then I'll be like, oh, that's right. Like I can never remember what they're doing, but if they're gonna be in the episode, they'll just give you just enough background of where they've been and where they're going.
Yeah.
That it'll make sense when you see them again. But for the life of me, I can't remember where the hell they were.
Every time they have to show Beric Dondarrion in like one of those like previously on Game of Thrones, it's the same thing every time. It's when he gets brought back to life in the cave. Yeah. It's the same one. It's the same clip. It's like he's done nothing else.
We gotta have more scenes of him somewhere.
It's nothing else. But it's going to be awesome. So next episode, Eastwatch. Hopefully we'll get eyes on Tormund and the rest of the wildlings, and hopefully some White Walkers, because that'd be pretty
just a
exciting.
Taste. Don't need too much. We just want a little bit of taste.
Hopefully Drogon he's healed by next week, and see him flying around and whatnot.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind them like fast forwarding a little bit. Like I don't need to, like I said, like I don't need to see Jaime floating to the bottom. I don't need to see them giving the dragon like vasotracin and a Band-Aid. I mean, we can speed that up. I'm all right with that.
I could see Jaime coming to in like a jail cell.
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know. But anyway, great episode. Just another reminder, We're doing the Game of Thrones giveaway, Daenerys Targaryen pop vinyl. If you go to our Twitter at Average Nobodies, if you search the Average Nobodies on Facebook and like our page, and you can find the link in there. AverageNobodies.com. We also have a blog post up of the giveaway. You can follow the link. You have 6 ways to enter, and then you can enter once every day until it's over. Exactly 2 weeks from Monday today, which is the 7th. So in 2 Mondays from now, or whenever you're listening to this, that second Monday is when we're stopping the giveaway, and that's when it'll be cut off, and you have no chance of winning.
In 7 fortnights, right? Is a fortnight 2 days?
Is that what it is for Fortnite? Let's look this up, actually.
Oh, am I giving people the wrong info? We have 10 months. Oh wow, it's 2 weeks. So in 1 fortnight.
in a fortnight.
In a fortnight, not 7.
I'm gonna start using Fortnite.
Really, the way they used to tell time and dates back then are so much cooler than today.
Oh, what's the Abraham Lincoln thing? The
Four score?
Yeah, 4 and 7 years ago. What's a score?
A score is 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I think
4 score, so 80 years. 4 score and what was it? 4 score and 20 years ago. 4 score.
A score is 20 years.
Oh, okay.
So he was saying 4 score and 7 years ago.
7 years ago.
It means 87 years.
Okay.
There's actually Norm Macdonald, his stand-ups on Netflix.
Yeah.
And like he starts it off, he's like, "You think Lincoln was mad that score never caught on?" He's probably writing a speech. He's like, 87 years ago. No, that doesn't sound right. 4 score and 7 years ago. Now all the kids will be saying score.
Yeah, he probably wasn't happy.
He probably wasn't happy.
No.
For a lot of reasons.
Yeah. All right. Well, Ryan, thank you as always. Thank you for listening to the Average Nobody's podcast, everybody. We'll be back next week with the next episode of Game of Thrones Eastwatch. And maybe we'll have, this was kind of an impromptu quick one because we had to talk about this episode like ASAP.
Yeah, it was too good to let pass.
Hopefully next week we'll have people against the internet back. Maybe some people watching. Who knows? Who knows where this week will lead us.
You never know, but we'll definitely be back discussing Eastwatch. So everyone enjoy your week, and we'll see you next week.
Yes. See you later.